connector supports 2 of 5 thermal sensors. So I don't even know what that means. So you're on your own for that one. You got the ATX connectors. Yeah, not even close. I mean, I wish I could do the 1500i, but the power requirement in terms of the actual breaker configuration makes it a little more specialized. Let's see, system panel connector 20-8 pin. Chassis mounted functions. So that's this section down here. Has all that set up. Again, the Q connector just solves that. So TPM connector, what is this? So trusted platform module, which securely stores keys, digital certificates, passwords, and data. That's interesting. So that's the TPM. This is this thing here. So it's purchased separately. That's interesting though. TPM. That is really, and I've never heard of that before. It's kind of cool. Although I can see how that'd be sort of a hazard also. Somebody gets in your system, all they have to take is that module. You don't have to try and, you know, freeze your RAM, the RAM as it's shutting down to save stuff on it or something. Let's see, direct key connector. It's 2-pin. Where's that at? That's this thing here next to the jumper there. Ensures that the chassis comes with an extra button. Cable that supports direct key feature. For technical documentation. What does this do? So, I'm not sure what it does. It doesn't say what it does. You got Thunderbolt header. Oh, that's what that is. That weird looking crazy thing here. This is the Thunderbolt header. That's for like an Apple monitor or something. It may also be used for display ports, so I suppose. That's what it sounds like anyway. Let's see. M.2 socket 3. So this socket supports M key and type 224, 2260, and or 2242 and 2282 storage devices. The socket will share bandwidth with the PCIe 16 5 slot. So if you have something on slot number 5, which is this here, and you're using this M.2 over here, it's actually going to steal stuff away from it. So if you got like a 3-way configuration for a graphics card, that X8 is going to go down to something else. Chassis intrusion connector. I mean, nobody uses that anymore. I don't know why you would use that outside of like a business setting or something. Then again, you're not going to have a business computer with this board in it. This is just talking about basic installation, so we're not going to go over all that. Let's see. Let me see if there's anything else here we need to go over. Talking about the BIOS, card installation. Maybe we should look at the M.2 installation. No, I guess now you can figure that out. It's in the manual. So yeah, that's going to be everything for tonight. There's some more stuff coming later on. I have to order some more stuff. Still have to order the last 2 parts, but that's all the stuff I have to go over for today. This board looks like it's going to be a pretty nice platform to work with. Lots of lots of space to work with, lots of different options, and should be interesting to put this system together and see how it works. Oh, also, look at this vertical CMOS battery, vertical frigging CMOS battery. I've never seen this before. This is awesome. No more having to dig it around to pull something off your computer, out of your computer. That's just annoying to work with. It's vertical CMOS. Why nobody thought of this before, or why I've never seen it before, I don't know. I mean, it just seems like a very common sense thing. Is just like, you know, the one thing everybody hates is having to dig out the CMOS battery. This is gonna make it a lot easier. There is no full board water block for this board because of just some of the stuff on here, which kind of sucks, but I understand why. But should still be rather interesting. Let me see. I'm gonna flip this around real quick. I may have. Yeah. So this is interesting. So I may have to unhook the thing down here too. I'm not sure. Or it might just fit all the way around. Who knows? So we actually see how that CMOS, not CMOS, the Mosfet Waterblock works. So there'll obviously be an installation guide inside of the box. So I'll look forward to looking at that. Yeah, it's a very nice looking board. Very spaciously laid out. Things look pretty clean. All the reviews online are just, say this board is awesome as all hell. Brings back some of the nice features of the older boards that they kind of got away from and brought back. This stuff down here, it's pretty awesome. I'll see how this stuff works out. And yeah, pretty awesome looking. So, thanks for watching the videos. Hope you've enjoyed the unboxings so far. Feel free to leave any comments that you have, or if you have an answer to that question I asked about the PS2 connector and who the bloody hell uses it these days. Let me know about that, or if you use it, let me know why you use one, and maybe I'll mock you and ridicule you for it. No, I won't. But it'd just be interesting to discuss that, why anybody would use it. And feel free to subscribe to the channel. I'd appreciate it if you did. I'm just looking at this board. It doesn't look there's, maybe all the capacitors are underneath in here, but it doesn't look there's that many capacitors on it. I mean, they're kind of more spaced out, obviously, but still. Other boards, you just have like massive capacitor, block lines around the CPU thing. So this should be a pretty interesting board to see how it ages and overclocks and whatnot. But yeah, so one thing I'm going to mention with these cards on these, the graphics cards on air coolers, they don't overclock very well, as a matter of fact. A lot of people suggest using, buying the 290s because they're cheaper, because you can overclock those to 290X levels almost. But the 290Xs, they on air don't overclock as well as they could. With water though, you could probably overclock them a lot better than they could on air, obviously. So we'll see how that works out. I haven't actually seen any reviews of people water cooling the cards and have overclocked them. They're probably around somewhere, but they're not on Amazon. I haven't seen any posts on overclocking yet. I may go around and look for some. But that's going to be it for now. So thanks for watching. And I will see you, if not tomorrow or Saturday, then definitely by Monday. And there'll be a few more unboxing videos that we'll do. Probably 2 or 3. And then we'll start building probably about a week from now. Maybe a week and a half. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Lifetime Production Squared, and we're back to do some more unboxing stuff. Really, it's not really unboxing now, really just showcasing. So I'm hand holding it at the moment because, for whatever reason, my camera drained its battery while it was turned off. I don't know. So I got some more stuff today. We're going to go over it, and also I'm going to do a couple of corrections as well. Let me start with that I've decided to go with a different type of RAM. The Dominator Platinum, it would have worked good with the case color theme, but I found some RAM that was just maybe a little bit slower on the timings, but just as fast on the megahertz, just as much capacity, DDR4, but like $200 less. And that was the Ripjaws 4 series from GSkill. $200 less than the 32 gigs of Dominator Platinum. So I went with that. Going to be breaking the case color scheme a bit, but yeah, I'm fine with that. Just paying that much for RAM is a little extreme. So what we're going to be going over today will be some of the last water cooling stuff, as well as. Actually, let me go get it. I need to grab one thing real quick here. We're also going to be going over the. I have an update for the case. There's a few things I got wrong and missed. Covering, I'll need to cover. And Also the Mosfet Waterblock, and we've done, I guess it would be an unboxing because I haven't really taken everything out yet. The monitor, BenQ monitor. So I'll start with the Waterblock here. I'm going to put it down over here again so I can take things out. You already know the box design that EK uses, so I'm just going to pull things out here and array them so you can see what's in there, and go over a couple tips and some information about pads and whatnot. So here is the block, Mosfet block. Not sure what it's all going to entail to remove this, but we'll have to see. Obviously, I'm taking off the stock cooler from the motherboard. There's actually also a manual that kind of describes how to do it. You also get two strips of, I'm not sure why two. Actually, yes, I do know why two. There's one that's a thicker strip and one's a thinner strip of like a thermal padding. And let's go and talk about thermal padding. You can just use thermal pads on like MOSFETs like this and on the GPUs and all that. However, you can also use thermal paste in conjunction with these. So you put a little bit of thermal paste underneath the pad, then put the pad on. Actually, will increase the thermal capacity. And that's what we're going to be doing on my build, if we get around to doing the build. But you get two thermal pads, a slimmer one that's not in the bag, and a thicker one for other things, and then to get some screws, mounting screws. So that's all I get with that. Got my tubing here. This is, I'm not sure how much tubing it is, but it's Clearflex 60 premium PVC tubing. Clear, obviously. I bought 3 units of it, so I guess it's probably sold by the feet. So this is probably 3 feet worth of tubing here. Which should be more than enough for what we need it for. A little bit left over for extra. It's very flexible, not too rigid, but it's not going to crink either. And if I try to crink it manually, it resists it quite a bit. I mean, look at that. You can get that much of a bend on here without it kinking. That's amazing. I mean, really, if you think about it. Then you start getting a little bit there, but like up to like right here, there's a little bit of a kink there, but it's got a very nice bend radius or whatever it's called. We also got the back plates in for my 290Xs. Come with a bunch of hardware and probably an installation guide. Again, these are actually the Heatkiller backplates. They don't sell them with the cooler, but you can buy them separately. It's about 30 bucks a piece. No, actually, no, not 30 bucks. No, yeah, 30. And then the gag gift I had to get because you have to have you have to have $75 to make a thing from Aqua Tuning. It's essentially what they are is giant snakes, and the name is Anaconda Reichenschlangen. I don't know. You can try and translate.google.com and see what comes up. Just kind of tell you how much stuff preserving is in this. There's like it has a shelf life of 8 months, so it'll last for a while. So, I wanted to try my the Killawatt on my computer upstairs, what I'm using right now, to see what kind of wattage it's using. And for the life of me, I could not get it to go over 500 watts. The highest I got to go was 438 watts of power usage, and that was while I was doing GTA 5 at pretty much maximum settings that you can get. I also tried Heaven. Heaven actually didn't even stretch it as much as GTA 5 did. I only got up to 386 watts max with Heaven, with that pretty much maxed out as well. So at idle, my system uses, I think it's a 180, no, it's a 105 to 320. It's on idle. The 320 I think was from just some of the startup, from things turning on. which is just multimedia, playing a video or something, 210 to 287 watts. Prime 95, or no. Not Prime 95. What is this? PB. Oh, Vegas. So, Vegas, playing back some footage, 238 to 251, rendering in Vegas, 310 to 329, P95, small FFT, 381 to 398, and same thing, Pro 95, but with IP FFT, so the high level torture test, 397 to 408. This is with a 4.3 gigahertz overclock on the processor. The GPUs were not that really overclocked though, because worried about heat on the gigabyte card, because it's kind of messed up with the cooler. Then GTA 5 290 to 438, and then Heaven 352 to 389. So it doesn't really use as much as I thought it would. I got a 1200 watt power supply in there, so that's like, not even maxing out half of it. I'm sure some of it has to do with the GPUs not being overclocked as much as they could be. And plus this new system, I was doing this kind of as a comparison or something. This new system has a lot more high-powered hardware in it, so I'll have to see. I'll actually go back through and the Extreme PSU calculator and see what wattage it's supposed to be putting out based on what it shows on there. Because I'm pretty sure it was higher than this. But still, it's not too bad. This is, a 3-year-old system or something, so it's, not too bad. So now let's go ahead. I'm going to pause recording so I get some stuff out of the way, and then we'll bring the case up, because we got some things to fix and go back over. Okay, so one thing I didn't show before in the case was this thing here. I think you might have saw it briefly, but I didn't tell you what it was, this metal strip here. This strip here is actually internal LED case lighting. I didn't know that it had this in there, so it's tied up to the same system as the other things as well. And we'll be able to run off of that. The SATA controller thing here, this is the power for the LED system, and the Molex connector that I showed you, wherever that went to. I know there was a Molex connector in here somewhere. Where'd that thing go? Maybe it's on the back side. Oh, there it is. Yeah. So this Molex connector here actually powers the fan controller, and that's what this thing is here. This is the fan controller. This bit right here. So up and down, that controls the fan speed. You can select different fans on this. These are your fan. This is the fan indicator here. So rear, side, top, and front. This allows you to select them. If you double tap it or double click it, it'll select all the fan headers. You can change them at the same time. And this bit here will, each section will kind of light up or dim depending on the settings. Each one's controlled by their own LED kind of light here that you can see kind of underneath that PCB board right there. So those are the things that I either had wrong or didn't know what they were for, or didn't know they existed in the case before a couple nights ago when I was looking at some reviews for this case. So now we're going to move over to the monitor. Actually, not going to see the referenced case thing on this part of the video. It's going to be tagged onto the end of the tagged onto the end of the thing. End of the case unboxing. So let me go ahead and pause, and I'll grab the monitor case and we'll get it over here. So the monitor that I'm going to be using for this build is the BenQ. Let me see if I can remember the name now. 27 XL30, so I don't know. It's essentially their gaming Let's see. Let's go. Here we go. The XL2730Z. That's what it is. Underneath it says 30B. That's interesting. So this is their. I couldn't find anything. Keep bumping the record button. I couldn't find anything on this on their website even. It's either so new or maybe they dropped it for some reason. But it's their Freesync monitor, the G-Sync competitor from the G-Sync like thing from AMD that's supposed to get rid of screen tearing permanently. Heard a lot of good things about this monitor, a lot of good reviews. First thing you're going to find when you open up this box is that there's no real manual. You just have this quick start guide. I think the manual is on the CD that comes with it. You also get HDMI cable. This is actually a DisplayPort cable. DisplayPort 2.1, I think. You get a HDMI cable and a USB A to B cable, because this monitor does have USB ports on it. And you get a high-speed HDMI cable. I'll take all this stuff and throw it over here. Get it out of the way. Also in here you get a S switch. So these are actually kind of interesting. Let me put you down for a second to open up this box here. So that what the S switch allows you to do is actually control some things about the monitor from settings without having to. It's like a profile kind of thing, profile switcher. So essentially this one has auto mode, also got back button, kind of or something, and a 1, 2, and 3, so there's probably a couple modes you got. It's a USB micro, I think is what that one is. Probably plugs into the monitor somewhere. So in the box, in the styrofoam piece here, you have the stand and the stand here. It's actually a fully, angleable stand or whatever. It actually has can pivot, pivot this way. Can go forward and backward and up and down as well, I think. Also has like a handle here, but it's not really that well balanced. This monitor also has some interesting features in it, like a headset holder, which I'll show you in a bit. So let's go ahead. This is a 27-inch monitor, if I had mentioned already. So it's 265 by 1440, I think. So yeah, it's a pretty high resolution monitor. So I want this thing. It's a quick start guide to find out the actual. 2560 by 1440. Alright, let's take this piece out. You got the panel down here. I think this is a TN panel. But I'm not entirely sure about that. Let me go ahead and get the panel out and we'll take a look at it. Camera just shocked the heck out of my finger. So, let's see. I was going to originally go with one of the Asus monitors, but they didn't have any FreeSync monitors. I wasn't about to go NVIDIA. Never going to go green. And also, their monitors had a lot of reports of defects, like burnt out pixels upon arrival. So I had to look for some other alternatives and came across this one. It's pretty expensive, pretty pricey, but at the same time it's very high quality. BenQ is well, I've never heard of them before. They are somewhat reputable gaming monitor company. And here we have it. 27 diagonal inches of glory. Still got all the stickers and stuff on it. Some panel buttons here, power button. That's, yeah, it's kind of cheap. I wish I had like a touch sensor like my Samsung does, but that's fine. Let's see the sticker here. So, Quad HD. So yeah, it's 2560 by 1440, 144 refresh rate, 1 millisecond G to G. VESA standard adaptive sync, so that's Freesync. Motion blur reduction, black equalizer, color vibrance, auto game mode to go, and low blue light. And this has really been has had a lot of good reviews based on these features. The low blue light, especially because some people monitors, when they stare at them for a long time, they hurt their eyes. That's because of the high blue light. This has a lower blue light, so it actually will help with that a bit. Still recording? Yeah, okay. Throw this over here. Let's go ahead and take a look at the back of it. We'll turn around this way. I really don't want to be doing this on top of there, but it should be fine. So as you can see here, we got some ports. There's an audio jack, that micro USB port, HDMI. You got two DVI, two HDMI ports. You have a VGA port. If you're using VGA in this day and age, just put some C4 in your computer and blow it up, because you have really no business with a gaming PC that old. The display port down there, and then also over there the USB-B port for the USB connection. And a bunch of this glossy stuff. I'm actually kind of surprised that there isn't more gloss kind of finish on this thing. At the same time, it's actually kind of nice because now you don't have to worry about all these fingerprints everywhere. But the high gloss finish looks kind of cool. So, I don't know. As I move this around, I'll probably scratch the hell out of the panel. So it's really just this back piece here, and they're like sideways, and the BenQ logo on top. So I'm going to go ahead and we're going to go and put this together here. So I'm going to go ahead and put you back down. Alright, so what I really should do is this. I'll just let it work like I planned it to. I'll be using this styrofoam piece again. We'll set this on top of this so that we're not scratching it anymore. Should be strong enough to hold it up even with that giant tear in it now. Okay, so let's see. Oh, there it is over there, the base. So this monitor stand will actually work for a bunch of different models. The BL2410, XL272C, the PG241, that's 2401, the BL27110, XL2430T, and this one, the XL2730Z. I actually have like a little blue mark on there to tell you which one it is. I don't know if you can see it or not on this. Yeah, you can see it. It's that last one on the left, bottom right, I mean. That little marking in there. Alright, we got the base. We'll probably need to attach this first. It's usually how it always goes. This has got some gloss cover stuff on it too. It also will turn as well. It has some turn to it. Sideways turn. So, let's see, I put this down here. So I got some like latch things that like fit into here and then lock in. Looks like it looks easier than it really is, really. So let's see. Do I need to take this off first? All files and files read instructions. So that's what we're going to do. First, it should be the last resort that you use to deal with this. So, we got the monitor. Now it's just installed right on top of it. Of course, they use pictographs instead of actual words, so you have to kind of interpret. Okay, so if you see here, you got these little notches here. You have to fit the notches that are on the bottom of the stand, vertical piece, into those, and then rotate them to the lock, and then further lock it into place with the, you see the kind of screw hole there. There's a screw here on the bottom that locks into. Okay, that was easier than I thought it would be. That kind of locks it off. That should be good. Okay. Got a little more plastic stuff to take off here. That's a really tight turn there. Well, I got some of it off somehow, I'm not sure. Oh, there we go. And then, like with all the monitors, you just put this in and it should automatically latch on. And that should be it. And there you have it. Huge monitor. You can also determine, you got a thing here. You see those red arrows, I don't know if you can. Can't get you much closer in this because the camera's hooked up to the wall at the moment because the battery's almost dead. There we go. Red things there. You can use to kind of adjust where you want the center to be at. Again, this is fully, you go forward, you go backward, go down, you go up. I'm pretty sure it also pivots. If I can get it to, we'll see. There we go. Also pivots this way, so if you wanted to, you get like 2 or 3 of these and do a huge, wide, multi-screen display. Actually, a little bit of stuff still on this thing. Actually, it's a pretty good amount. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. This thing goes in here, like so. I don't think this one's magnetic, but there are versions of this where it's magnetic. This one's a circular model. There's one that's more like a wedge that fits around the edge of the stand. It's magnetic. There's like a magnet in the side of there, and just plug it in there. This just seems to like fit in there and has some anti-movement kind of stuff on it, so it doesn't go around when you use it. If you look over here, this little red thing here, this is the microphone stand. I'm not sure how strong this is. We'll see if it'll hold my massive Logitech stuff. And I don't think we're recording anymore. I'm not sure how much I actually got recorded. My camera seems to have overheated a bit and stopped recording. Back then I wasn't paying any attention to it. But hopefully the audio was recording, even if the video wasn't. So yeah, here's the thing I was talking about. This little thing here, it's to hold my headsets on. I'll see if it'll be able to hold my massive Logitech G930s. Now you got the USB ports on here, and then your headphone jacks. That port you saw on the back, that hooks up to the pink port on the back of your, either the back of your computer and the I/O ports, or the headphone jack on front with some connection that you have at your disposal, I guess. And that's the BenQ monitor. I'm not going to say the name again because it's massively huge. Long name that's hard to forget, or hard to remember, rather easy to forget. And that's going to be all the stuff for unboxing for the moment. I still have a couple things that are coming. The fans, some fan extension cables, because the Akasa Vipers are really actually air cooler fans, so they fit on heat sinks, and so their fan cables, the cables to them are not very long, so I need extenders for them. The processor, I still have to order that, but I'll get it on Friday. Get it delivered on Friday, order it Monday. And then also the RAM, which is coming tomorrow. Order it Wednesday, rather, I should say. Monday is 2 days ago. Well, 1 day ago, I guess. So we're almost done with getting all the stuff for the build and all the unboxing. And we'll probably start building on the weekend, this weekend. Actually, I know I will. So, that's going to be it for now. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Hi everyone, this is GeoWill from Fan Production Squared, and we're back to finish the unboxings and then continue with the build. So I got a couple things we need to go over here. First and foremost, we'll go ahead and I got this over the, I got these yesterday. This is the Mayhems Pastel Ice White, so that's the concentrate for the coolant. I got 3 bottles. These are 2 50 milliliter bottles. And so it's adding to 750 milliliters of water. So what I'm going to be doing is using the measuring cup here to measure that out. Then I have this high-tech storage device. Yes, seriously. We're going to go full ghetto on this and use a milk carton thing. It might look like milk, but if you drink it, you'll die. So, yeah. Little extra hijinks there. Also got a box here. Has a certain item that I had to have returned and replaced, and also another motherboard for to switch out with my one that I got earlier, because I'm not going to try this processor on bent pins. I'm a little too skittish for doing that for the moment, because again, it's a very expensive processor. If it burns out because of bent pins, there's not much you can do about it. So I don't think it really would burn out a processor, but it's possible. Alright, so, while I was doing other stuff, getting the video off of this and things, the processor came, went out and got it. Literally got it the second that they delivered it. It's funny, mail person was still out there delivering mail to other mailboxes. So let's go ahead and open it and see what we got here. Hopefully we got a good chip, and it's going to have some good overclocking potential. Not all chips are the same. Not all chips are equal. Some chips are worse for overclocking, some are better. Just, you know, depends on your look of the draw. So we'll see what we got. Interesting. Looking at the back here, you can see there's some spots where there's missing contacts. That's intentional, obviously. I bet there's probably the same kind of missing contacts on the plate. That's right, it's in then. I guess not. So I must not contact with all of them, which is fine. Go ahead and close this back up here. So let's go ahead and get into the box here and have a look at this monster. I was watching some more videos from Jay's 2 cents. One interesting trick that we'll use to get rid of that CPU plate, the cover socket plate. I know you can do it that way, but pretty interesting. So instead of that weird box ink, it looks like it comes in a box, or I guess it's a tray. Still in that weird kind of box. So you actually get a manual here. It's interesting. I don't remember getting one of these. Actually, yes, I do remember getting one of these before. Never mind. I'm an idiot. Get the case badge. It'd be nice if it didn't say i7, because like there haven't been a billion i7s made before now, and when they first made an i7. Unless they said like i7 Haswell-E or something, you know. We're gonna rip a little bit of the pages off here, but that's fine. It's a security mechanism. So just, you know, your basic stuff, telling you how to install it and whatnot. Useless for our applications because almost always the faceplate for the Asus boards don't coincide with the ones for the traditional Intel ones, because the traditional Intel sockets don't have this awesome mounting thing like they do here on the Asus. You actually have to have the backplate. With this, you don't have to have a backplate because it just goes right into there. That's really a nice feature of the Asus boards and why I like to use them over others. So here's the box that has the processor in it. Got 2 tabs to lift up. What the hell? This says AMD on it. Factory sealed. I'm gonna go see what the hell's going on, and we'll be right back. So I checked it before opening it this time, and it's the correct processor. As you can see, Intel Core i7 5960X looks correct this time. The box looks way different than that other one did. I don't remember if I saw this on the other one, so I think maybe what it is, it went on in this side to take it out. But yeah, so obviously has not been opened yet, which is good. Nice clean box. Didn't come from Nevada, so that's probably why. It came from Indiana. And again, in here we got the motherboard. What I'm going to do now is we're going to take the motherboard out. I'm not going to record this. I'm going to put the Mosfet cooler on there. Bolt that back on. I'm not going to be using the EK thermal pads because they say you can't reuse them, and they got thermal paste on the bottom of that one that fell on those chips, and so I'm just going to use what comes with the motherboard, but I'm going to apply some thermal paste to that again. So I will, oh yeah, over here, this here, put the drive in there. That's the LG Blu-ray DVD CD ROM thing that I got over the on Friday or Saturday, whenever you saw me do that on the video. I also did some cable management stuff to get ready for this, and we'll go over that later. It looks pretty clean as it is now, and I'll get this on here, and we'll get the motherboard back in, and I'll start hooking stuff up, and we'll go from there. The reason I'm hand holding you for is because the battery, even though the wireless was turned off, even though the camera was turned off, it still drained the battery somehow. It was a full battery when I brought it down this morning. Came home now after going to pick up the box because didn't get delivered. I had to go pick it up at the UPS place. Turned it on, and literally 3 beeps turned off. I'm gonna start unplugging the stupid battery once I charge this thing now, because it's ridiculous. That's one of the only 3 main things that I see wrong with the GoPro, or at least my particular model or particular unit. So the battery dies really quickly. It gets hot really quickly too. It gets really hot, and the more towards the entire line of GoPros, there's no way to mount a GoPro without putting it inside of a housing, and you can't put it in a housing and charge it at the same time, which is ridiculous. The skeleton door should have like cutouts for the side panel thing where you have the interface stuff like the HDMI cable, the USB, and the SD card input thing. But I'm gonna go ahead and stop recording, and we will start again in a little bit and continue from there. Alright, I don't know how long the battery's gonna last. Looks like not very long at all now. But we're gonna go ahead and see how far we can get with this unboxing of this processor. Then I'll just handhold, I guess, for the rest of the process and figure out some creative way of dealing with the issue. Let's see. Let's go ahead and open this thing up. No surprises this time. Get it out here so you can actually see it. Wow. Well, here's the first clue that this box has not been opened yet. It's impossible to get that tab out. Wow. And there's also 2 books here instead of 1. McAfee special offer, Life Save. McAfee. Yeah, I don't think I'll be using that. That looks way better. That's more like an Intel processor there. So, there's a couple things I want to talk about. Having to deal with the installation of CPUs. Oh wow, it's a heavy chip. And how easy it is to damage LGA board pins. You've seen those massive coolers that look like they belong to supercars. Well, those operate on a premise of needing to apply pressure to the socket in order to kind of create a good seal to transfer heat along with the thermal interface material. Well, if you tighten that down too much or put too much pressure on the socket, it'll actually bend the pins just installing that thing. So that's one thing that you need to be aware of when you're installing those. Same thing can happen with over tightening any kind of cooler though. So you gotta be careful, as well as putting this in the wrong direction. There was something else that I wanted to talk about related to this, but I forgot what it was. So we're just gonna go ahead and get this chip installed. So I think it's recording now. It's a good thing I got this, and I also got one with the CPU cooler, because this is actually almost gone. As you can look at it, it's all the way down to like the very last bit there. And it took so much to do that. I should have bought 2 of these. But there's more than enough with the other one that's around here somewhere that came with the EK block, CPU block. So there's a couple things we have to unwrap, not unbox, that I forgot about. And one of them are some fan extension cables for the Akasa fans I'm getting whenever, I don't know. area the people I'm getting them from are being real douches about telling me where they're at. And also the RAM that I bought on Monday, I guess. Monday? Yeah, Monday. So let's go ahead and open up. Let's do this. I think this one's the non-RAM, so we'll do these ones first. I decided to go with, I think I mentioned this the other night, but I'll say it again. I decided to go with a different type of RAM. We'll get to that in a bit. So I got 3 of these. They are Phobya fan extenders, 4-pin fan extenders. I don't know how long they are. I think it's 3. That's a 60 centimeters, so go from that. I think it's like, and he's got the awesome kind of, trapdoor release thing too. So yeah, 3 feet. That's about what it is, yeah. 3 feet extension cables. These will work on any kind of fans. Not just 4 pins, but 3 pins. Well, maybe not. I think they're pinned out for, or not pinned out, but the connectors are made for 4. Which the Akasa Arcs, they are just power-hungry fans. But they're going to really push a lot of air through the radiators, and it's going to have a really extreme kind of cool-down effect on them. So I'm just going to go ahead and unwrap these. Why doesn't everyone use this packaging design? It's just so awesome. Just go in there and boom, you're done. You don't have to tie, rip, cut anything. Just undo the plastic stuff there and you're good to go. So I got 3 of them. It's got 3 fans, and those are heatsink fans. So the cables for them that are on them are actually pretty short. And while they might reach at the same time, I want to route them through to the fan controller. So we need these. Let's see. And then the RAM. So yeah, the RAM I got. I was looking at the RAM for Corsair, and it's like $600 for RAM. That's a lot, even if it is 30 gigs DDR4. So I just went around and looked on Newegg for other options and found that GSkill did have DDR4, and they had a 30 gigabyte kit, and this is it, the Ripjaws Series 4, their Ripjaws Series 4 RAM sticks. DDR4 for Intel X99, 32 gigabytes, so it's 4 times 8 on the sticks, so 4 sticks of 8. What you want to do with the RAM is you don't want to go lower and more, you want to go higher and less. The more RAM you can get per stick, the better off you're going to be in terms of efficiency. That's just how it is. I used to think that, you had to get, all the slots filled out in order to make it, the most efficient, but that's not true. I learned that wasn't true a while ago, but, so yeah, let's go ahead and open this up and see if GSkill's learned from their packaging is still kind of crappy. Got a case badge in here. So you will have to use the XMP profile in order to get this up to the 2666. Yes, this is Devil RAM. That's why it's red. 2666 gigahertz. Because just like with everything else, RAM doesn't overclock very well in that way unless you use XMP. Because it's more stable when you raise it with the CPU in terms of that. So yeah, let's go and get these bad boys out here without. GSkill has not learned. Well, actually, they did learn a little bit. It's a little bit. The packaging's a little more pliable than the ones from my last 2012 build. It's a little easier to pop them out. A lot easier, actually. 4 sticks of awesome. So it's got the typical Ripjaw, heat. I guess it's not. Well, it might be like it is. I guess somewhat of a heat dissipation thing. But it's also just there for kind of looks as well. It's not really made for cooling the RAM itself. One thing that there was 2 reasons why I didn't want to go with the Dominator anymore. First and foremost is that, well, 3 technically. First and foremost is I was going with the Dominator in the first place because I had thought, like the previous generation DDR3 Dominator Platinums, that the DDR4s were going to be water coolable, and that's not true because the heatsink, which goes along the top of it underneath the light bar, is actually, you know, either I think it's somehow like fused in with the actual RAM stick or bolted into the internal pieces, so you have to actually take it apart. Instead of just being able to kind of unscrew the heatsink off the top like on the old versions, you can't do that with the Dominator DDR4s. So they're not water coolable without voiding the warranty like crazy. I didn't want to deal with all that. So that was the main reason. Second reason was that when overclocked to their actual rated speed, you have to cool the RAM with air cooling or have some sort of directed airflow because they get really hot. Corsair actually states this on the packaging as well, that if you're going to run it at the rated speed 260, well, let's say 2666, I guess that works out. That has to be, has to have some sort of directional or direct cooling on them. Even more so if we're going over the rated speed. So the last reason was the cost. I mean, it's $200 more for that RAM over this RAM. Pretty much almost the exact same latency and other clocks on this RAM. This RAM is the clocks are 1515, 1535. Actually, I guess it's a little more. The Dominator is a little bit high, a little bit lower on the fourth clock there. 1.2 volts. That's what these are rated for by for the stock. Intel XMP 2.0 ready. So that's the RAM I'm using, and we'll see how it works out. My first build with 32 gigs. People are probably saying, "What the hell are you using 32 gigs for? You don't need a gaming platform." Well, yeah, it's not going to be just for gaming because really anyone that does a lot of gaming or YouTubing or stuff like I do, we need this extra RAM because, well, let's take one good example, After Effects, because I'm using that right now. After Effects, you can easily use up 16 gigs of RAM on the rendering because how it works is it renders per core, and it doesn't release the RAM that you use. And the more effects you have, the more RAM it uses. So it's very easy with just a simple After Effects project to max out your RAM. It'll probably still be releasing to max out 32 gigs, but yeah, that might be something for 64 that you'd have to go to before you could handle After Effects without maxing out your RAM too quickly. But this board will support 64 gigs, but my bank account wouldn't support 64 gigs. So maybe that'll be for the next build in like 2023 or something. I don't know. By then maybe we'll have holographic computers or something. I don't know. But I'm gonna go and put these back in the thing, and gonna pause recording, get other stuff ready, and we'll go ahead and install the Mosfet Waterblock on the motherboard. Hey everyone, this is GOL from Leftman Production Squared, and we're back to finish off the build for our 2015 system. I just got the fans today, and I've already taken 2 of them out of the case. So you can see here's some stuff down here. Should get that back up here. And somewhere, wow, all over the place. And here they are, the Akasa Viper fans. So, let me see if I guess that's pretty good. I don't know if it would be good or not. I guess it's fairly good right there. So, again, yeah, these are very short cabled fans. Very long cables on them, so definitely going to need the extenders here. None of the, it's a good thing to mention, none of the headers for the, yeah, works. For the fan controller are 4-pin, they're all 3-pins, so you'll need to get, these will go right into the motherboard. They won't go through that header. Some information here. These are the 140mm ones. Dimension 140, 140, 255. They have hydrodynamic bearings, so they're going to last longer. 600 to 1600 RPM. Actually, pretty high case flow. 110 or CFM, 110.61, which is really nice considering that the static pressure on these is 3.12 mmH2O. 12 volt fans, PWM 4 pins. So yeah, pretty cool. They actually come with these weird kind of plastic screw things here. You won't be able to use these if you're mounting them onto a radiator because they're made to just be for the fan to hook onto the case or something. So I won't be using those, but they're rubber, so they reduce the vibrations.